If he's elected, the stock market will crash.
That bell marks a new record high for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, going to close above 37,000 for the first time ever.
I've got to say, Willie, it's amazing that he said that stock market crash. All-time record high yesterday. Donald Trump, at the same time, Donald Trump is saying Joe Biden has gotten us into a depression. The numbers are really strong across most of the sectors. You've got actually economists who had been predicting a recession saying that's not going to happen. We're going to have the smooth landing, and that we're going to also most likely have 3 interest rate cuts next year. This reminds me a lot of 1983, Ronald Reagan, strapped with a very bad economy in 1983. His approval rating got as low as 35%. He averaged 41% approval ratings on Gallup throughout 1983. That's about where Joe Biden is right now. You have this economy zooming up, and it's going to follow. Voters are going to, again, start feeling this more and telling pollsters this more. But I got one thing that bothers me, Willie. Just one thing. You and I both know I can't use the word that I want to use. It begins with D. I'll just say fellas. They're fellas driving around in convertible Porsches.
Okay.
You know, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they're driving around their convertible Porsches. Oh. They're pulling into their country clubs. Mm-hmm. They're getting out. They're having their caddies run up and get their bags. They're going out. They're going to the clubhouses, like with their. I don't know how much Rolex watches cost. Let's say $30,000 Rolex watches that they first bought. They can't get through their conversations at like the grill, men's grill, because they keep looking. I'm serious. At their stock. Mm-hmm. Their stock counters to see how much money. They'll go, I made $16,000 just in the time I sat down here. And then they'll go out and for 18 holes, they'll bitch about how Joe Biden is a socialist who's ruining the economy. It happens nonstop. These D guys.
It's a French word, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a French word. I think it ends with an E. But they drive around their Maseratis and their Porsches and their convertible Mercedes. They talk about how horrible the economy is. They've made millions and millions on Joe Biden's economy, some billions and billions, and they attack him as a socialist. It's just pure garbage.
Yeah, I know exactly the person you're talking about, or the people you're talking about, and I understand the word you're using. I had, not to reveal too much, I've had that conversation with that person that you're describing just within the last week, as a matter of fact, and bringing up all the things that you just brought up, and now 37,000 is the Dow. The Wall Street Journal, the front page is covered in stories about how, yes, it looks like there will be a soft landing. No, it looks like we hope now that there won't be a recession. And in fact, we're turning the corner to a place where rates are going to come down. People can get back into the housing market. Hopefully rents are coming down. So these are all positive indicators. But what you've done is folded in the politics of this. And when you say all that, they go, yeah, Biden, he's old, man. He may not even be on the ballot this year. You know, all of the things, they run to different places. And when you put together, this is an amazing tweet from Donald Trump, when you put together the politics with the economy, this is in 2019, then President Trump tweeted this, quote, "You mean the stock market hit an all-time record high today, and they're actually talking about impeachment?
Wow.
Will I ever be given credit for anything?" wrote Donald Trump in 2019. Wow. There you have it. You know what they say, there's a tweet for everything, Joe.
There is a tweet for everything.
And you know, the new thing on Fox is Joe Biden hasn't accomplished anything. They just can't think of anything he's accomplished. That'll be the line.
Well,
so, don't even start on that.
Joe Biden's accomplished is,
I mean,
more bipartisan legislation than any president since probably LBJ. Bipartisan legislation. And more job growth than any president in ages. He's doing better economically in every area except for Donald Trump, save inflation. That's because we came out of COVID and those numbers are going down now. But again, it's crazy. These people that are rich as hell talking about like making hundreds of millions of dollars, making billions of dollars. They put on their little vests and they go to conferences and they talk about how Joe Biden.
I still want to know the word.
You know the word, dear. But they put on their little vests to hide their fat stomachs, and they go out there and they talk about how Joe Biden is like, oh, he sucks as a president. He's too old, and he's a socialist. He doesn't believe in people making money. The economy's wrecked. And I hear this all the time. Joe Biden's ruining America. He's ruining the economy. Oh, is he really? Record highs, Willie. Record highs. And they're going to, you know what they're going to do today? They're going to go out and they're either going to buy like a portion of a partnership in a private jet today because they're making so much money, or they'll buy a Lamborghini and they'll like drive down, some Westchester Main Street going 80 miles an hour for 2 seconds and then have to go to a stoplight. And then they'll rev their engine at the stoplight. Then they'll go 80 miles an hour for another 4 seconds. Then they'll stop, and they'll have their Trump 2024 bumper sticker talking about how Joe Biden's a socialist. And then they'll get in a wreck because they're going to be looking at how much money they're making per minute because of the economy
That's okay.
that Joe Biden has salvaged from Donald Trump. So there you go.
All right.
That's all I got
along
to say
with Joe,
about that.
Willie, and me, we have the host of Way Too Early,
They
White
really
House Spirit Chief.
irritate me.
I don't know what they are, but at Politico,
You know exactly
You know,
what they
Mika.
are,
I don't.
who they are, because
I
you see
don't.
them.
Allie,
just
help
hang
me.
around any country club
What?
and watch them go in with their Lamborghinis or their Porsches
But
and
I mean, I
complain.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I've
you
definitely
do.
met the type. I just don't know what the word. Oh, I got
Mika.
it. Lewis.
There we go.
Okay. Lewis. All right, Jonathan Lemire, former White House Director of Communications to President Obama, Jennifer Palmieri. She's the co-host of MSNBC podcast How to Win 2024 with Claire McCaskill, and U.S. National Editor at the Financial Times, Ed Luce, is with us, and NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Vitale. And I don't mean Lewis. I mean Lewis told me the word. I got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This has happened.
I got it.
This has happened before. So, Jen, people wonder why Joe Biden remains pretty calm about this while Democrats across Washington, D.C. and America wet their bed. I mean, he knows where the economy is. He knows where the economy's going. He knows it's still a very long way to go. Again, in 1983, where, Ronald Reagan is, where Joe Biden was, Reagan's approval rating got at as low as 35%. Why? A recession. He averaged 41% in 1983, the year before his election, that he won 49 states. We're not saying Joe Biden's going to win 49 states because there is, of course, the construct, the media construct has enabled people to go out and tell lies about Joe Biden and make money off of it. So they're going to keep telling lies about Joe Biden. They're going to keep making money off of it. But let them make their money. Let them lie. Joe Biden, if the economy keeps going the way it's going with 3 rate cuts next year, that sure is favorable.
I mean, this is not one good jobs report, or this isn't one good report on inflation going down. This is what has sort of kept the ceiling on, I think, particularly for consumers. Average Americans pay attention to interest rates. They understand what that means. They understand that the implication that has on being able to buy a house or sell a house, or knowing that going into 2024, that the plan is to have is to lower the rates 3 times. I feel like that sort of takes the lid off of people having this overhang. That overhang of concern that there might be a recession, that that interest rates are going to continue to go up. If that is gone, then I really do think the administration can go full bore ahead and making the argument that the plan is working. And so even as people can start to come down from the state of anxiety that people have been in since COVID, of what's the next terrible thing, with some certainty. And, that is a very big deal. And to end the year knowing that that's what's coming next year, I wouldn't expect to see massive jumps in approval ratings the next week, but that portends a good glide path for next year.
Yeah, for sure. Instead of it just being one report that comes out, a piece of data that stands alone, it's an overall direction. And Steve Ratner is going to join us later in the show. Will he be at the Western Wall? We shall see with his charts.